Hey, that was the weirdest sneeze I've ever heard. Hi, everyone. It's
That wasn't a
Tuesday
sneeze.
night. That wasn't a sneeze.
No, it was a cough.
Oh, that was a weird cough then. Whatever that gesticulation was, it was a weird one. Did I use
Hit the black
gesticulation?
lung.
Wait a second. Did I use gesticulation appropriately?
No idea.
I don't know either. Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday. I'm here on Tuesday night at a 7 o'clock game tonight. It was
Oh, you
awful.
win?
No. It might as well have been hockey. Don't call. I don't want to talk about it. This is Mike. I think I separated my shoulder. I'll be good.
Sounds like Justin Fields.
My numero uno, it's my shooting shoulder, though, and all I can do is shoot. So if I can't shoot, there's no point in playing. My numero uno, who's going to take over hosting responsibilities momentarily. Pedro, happy Thanksgiving week, buddy.
The shoulder's been a huge crutch to him. Shooting shoulders, hurting everything.
Yeah.
I can't host.
I got nothing, Case.
Trade deadlines Saturday night, and favorite Thanksgiving food is stuffing. Go ahead.
Case. Hello.
Trade deadline is Saturday night, and favorite is cranberry sauce.
Canned?
What?
I like stuffing too, but I didn't want to take Pete's answer, so I just want something else. It's like 2. I love cranberry sauce. Canned.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce.
Gotta have the rings in it.
Jellied. Yeah.
Do you schmear or do you just place?
I place.
You place. All right.
I'll take the whole log.
Speaking of a guy who I know schmears, what's the terminology for the what is it? Our resource person. What's the acronym? A resource
SRO, Mike.
There it is.
SRO, a resident SRO.
Our pod SRO.
ORS.
Our pod SRO. Steve, give us the rundown. When's the trade deadline? What's your favorite side?
Trade deadline is Saturday night. And I actually have a tie. So I love mashed potatoes.
Good choice.
Oh, good one.
I really, really love a good broccoli cauliflower casserole.
Oh, dark horse.
Steve, whipped or like chunks?
Whipped.
Great question, Brian. Great question.
I like whipped too because it's easy to combo with all your other sides.
Absolutely.
And turkey and
really
turkey.
mash it all together. And
You know what my favorite side is?
Mike, what's your favorite side? When's the trade deadline?
green bean casserole.
Nah, green bean casserole. Get out of here. What are you
Eat a salad.
American?
Or a green bean. I figured it'd be something stupid like
God,
that.
what
Eat a salad.
Awful. That's the most offensive thing you've ever said to me. Gravy. Gravy's the best side because it binds the whole thing.
Awful.
I will say this. Do you guys like the sides better than the actual turkey?
Yeah, I can't stand turkey.
Okay, so hot take on turkey. My father
deep fried is better. Deep fried
is good. My father-in-law smokes the turkey. We have smoked turkey. It is so good. I don't know. Like I can barely. The turkey is always played like the whatever, but it is.
What does he smoke it with? Like a giant smoker?
Yeah, like on a smoker with like wood chips and stuff. It's very good.
One of those green eggs. Does he have a green egg?
Nah, he had a one of the coal ones.
Traeger.
Anybody have a favorite appetizer that they do?
Baked brie. I make a baked brie on Thanksgiving. It's one of my go-to.
I like chips and stuff. I like to have beers, so salty stuff.
I like cheese, pepperoni, crackers. Those like couture boards.
Oh, classic.
No. Try that again. Say that again.
Couture? Couture?
Oh, can we record that?
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. What is that? Is that like French or something?
I don't know what you're saying. It sounds like you're Rhode Island.
No, I was watching Shark Tank the other night, and there was these two people that came in for this company for charcuterie boards case, and they made it wasn't sure it was not.
Why don't you say it, Steve? Say it.
Charcuterie. They made $300,000 plus a 10% interest on Shark Tank. They're over $1 million in sales in 2 years.
Amazing.
Cool.
They should join in.
What a story. Hey, they should. It was like
apple cheddar dip. Apple cheddar dip that Linda
Save your
makes.
fruit. Save your fruit. Don't want the fruit. Just give me the meats and the cheeses and the crackers. That's what I want.
My mom makes a mean apple cheddar dip for Thanksgiving. It's really good.
I like that as well.
Where are you guys going for Thanksgiving?
Seasonal.
Connecticut.
You're by me. When are you coming up?
I told you tomorrow. I said you were around. Yep. I texted
you asked me?
He said it in our group chat.
Oh, I'm way behind in the group chat, guys. When are you coming up? I'm around.
Tomorrow. We'll talk later.
Tomorrow, Wednesday to Friday.
We'll talk offline. These are texts that I didn't respond to.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I believe this was part of you responding saying way too many texts I'm not reading.
It's been a week. It's been a week, guys. It's been a week. Where are you going, Case?
We're hosting my in-laws on Thursday, and then we're heading to New Hampshire Friday through
Whole
Sunday.
crew?
Yeah, whole crew. Casey side up in New Hampshire, Lake House.
That'd be great. How many kids these days bopping around that crew?
Just two grandkids.
Okay, 2 grandkids.
My son and Kevin's son.
Nice. Steve?
We are hosting here.
Same here.
Oh,
Same with us.
host man, half a pool. Jeez.
Same.
My yard is completely chewed up right now. Did I tell you what they did to the gas line? We don't have to get into that now.
They fixed the
We
gas line?
talked about it last week. Yeah,
There was
they
a
hit the gas line. It was awesome.
There was a
I
gas.
knew
line
that.
collision
Wait,
today.
I knew that. We didn't text about that. I knew that.
Yeah, that we
We
talked
talked
about
about
it
it pre-pod last week.
Right.
All right, Mike. Good to see you're paying attention.
Great to be back. Great to be back, guys.
Oh, jeez.
To be back.
All right.
How many people have turned us off right now, by the way?
Nah, people
Nobody.
like it.
No,
Yeah.
people like the banter.
And it's gonna be a heavy travel weekend. We're good. People are gonna listen to this 2 or 3 times. All right.
Actually, I do feel like you could go long on the banter because. So let's answer. I have a question for you, Pete. Who in our league would be the worst to host your Thanksgiving meal? Like, 15 people. Who would you be like? Oh, I don't want to do it there. Flip side, who would you want hosting?
Well, based on Spates and how he liked that potato salad, I definitely don't want him hosting my
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
he'd be my last
That would
choice.
be
too.
that would be number one.
Yeah, his
I don't know.
house, the ceilings would be too high.
Steve sounds pretty good. That broccoli thing. I wasn't even thinking about that. Sounds different.
Case,
I would love to go to Larkin's.
say more. Why do you say that?
I think he aims to please. So I think if he knew we were coming, I think he would roll out a very nice dinner and spread for us.
guys.
Is that because you're not
And
going
then
to
I
be able to afford it after you have to pay
No,
him?
and then I would-
you're gonna be
then I
paying
would-
for it.
Then I would steal $100 from his underwear drawer and pay him back with his own money.
Weird.
Underwear? Why are you going sifting
So
through his
weird.
underwear?
Who's the house you wouldn't want to go to?
Pete's is the furthest away. Oh, I don't, Innis, I guess that's the furthest away.
And I won't be here.
Yeah, Pete won't be there, so Pete's.
All right, good answers.
All right, you ready to get into the intro? I mean, what's it called? Recap of the week.
Can I ask? I'm so sorry. I'm reading your email, so I feel as this is as prepared as I'm going to be.
Okay.
Are we doing review and preview? Is this a megapod?
Just
Mega
hang
pod.
on. Just hang on, baby.
Mike, just sit back and relax.
I'm
I'll
only
ask
you
asking-
the right.
wait, I have to. I want to just pull up. I'm going to pull up Yahoo. Please hold.
It's gonna
Hey,
be.
can I take back my previous answer? I want to go to DeVita's if they have homemade wine.
Oh yeah, and Andy.
I don't know. Man.
Andy,
I don't think DeVita. He doesn't want you at his house. Case.
yeah, Andy hosts. I know that. Andy hosts his wife and his family.
What's one more? Yeah, what's one more?
And I bet they are very good cooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
If he
seem like
cooks, if he cooks his turkey, he cooks his wine, I'm there.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get this show on the road, Pete.
If my Uncle Billy's involved, there are going to be good desserts.
Mm.
All right. Boom. What's that, Mike?
Big dessert guy, Billy D. I didn't know that.
Oh, my Uncle Billy's the ultimate sweet tooth. He used to have donuts with him constantly.
Is he a good baker?
Yeah. He used to make muffins and all that weird stuff. He used to make cookies.
Yeah.
He was
You
like
gotta
the
fix that.
ultimate.
Dessert's all about proportions and sizes and getting the right calculations. He's got to be a whiz at it.
Tablespoons, Peter.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go, Case. Oh, you got to use the cups. Sorry.
It's just simple math.
He's a big math guy. Of course, he's got to have that right.
He's an awesome cook. All right. Anyway, the boom of the week, 176.05. Andy DeVita takes his 4th boom of the year. That moves him back into an tie for 2nd with Jeff Innes with 7 all time. So good for you, Andy. We'll talk more about that later. The beast of the week, that was 46 points. That was by Tony Pollard, the beast of the week. Back-to-back beast for me.
Hate that guy.
In 11 weeks, I've had the beast of the week 5 times. What a weird stat.
Should we call you something?
Beastmaster,
Eat the beast? I don't know.
Master
Deal.
Beast.
Taming the beast?
Master Beaster. He's the Master Beaster.
Oh, cue,
I don't know.
cue the sound effect. Cue the sound effect.
I'm gonna need RSO on that one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, call him
SRO.
in.
Wait, is it SRO or RSO?
Yes.
Whatever.
It's
All
research
right.
search officer.
And the going deep, the longest play of the week, was 68 yards, also by Tony Pollard. Ever heard of him? Number 2 was
Yes, I have.
Tutu Atwell. He had a 62-yard reception. He was number 2. So actually, and then everyone else was pretty far off from that. So longest one was Tony Pollard. What up? Top score for the week was Andy DeVita, 176. That was the 8th highest score of the season. The lowest score was Innes at 98 points. That's the 9th lowest score of the season. Case, you want to talk about picks?
Yeah, guys. It
Not
was
I feel like I would. Did
terrible.
I go 0-5? Did I go
It's not a good
Terrible.
week.
Terrible week.
Is this an
for the
all-time?
picks. we set a new all-time low mark. We
Yeah,
went
we do.
5 for 20, 5 picks correct.
Mike and I were
Well-
1-9.
Colelli got 1.
Hey, who'd I get?
Pete got 0. Pete went 0 for 5.
Woof.
Steve
You
and I
didn't
both.
pick yourself?
He picked him. He picked you.
No, it was a quad lock
Jinx,
against
for the
him.
Jinx.
Act like you've been here.
Well, you talk so much trash. I figured you stood behind what you said, but I forgot you talk out of both sides.
No, remember
Oh,
he
sorry.
was going to pick himself to boom and lose.
Yeah.
It does make sense though, fellas. It does make sense because this is the first time all year where somebody's picked Christian and actually cashed in on it
Wow.
in a 5 and 15 week for the pod. So 2 of those wins were CGD getting that one correct. So
Job, guys.
the one good thing though on the season, this has really jammed things up. Pete is 34 and 21, 62%. Huge fall,
Oh.
Pete. Huge fall in the last 2 weeks.
Quite a
Mike-
clip, though.
I was in the
Mike,
7th.
yeah, Mike has relinquished the number 2 spot with with back-to-back 1 in 4 weeks
A rough couple of weeks, guys.
It's like your
It's been a
season.
rough, it's been a
at
rough
56.
couple weeks.
DeVito's moved up 1 slot, 32 and 23, and I'm still hovering below 30 wins, 29, 26. Mike, you know what's actually funny? Looking back to last year, you had this little blip right around weeks 9 through 12 where you basically just stopped caring and you did the same thing. So you're basically doing what you normally do. So
What
just keep
happened?
going.
Is it your anniversary or something?
No.
No, the basketball
White
season's
person?
underway.
Yeah, basketball
No.
season. Yeah.
It's been a lot,
I'll
guys.
lock,
It's been a lot.
Breen. No, I'll lock Spates. I'll lock
Ah.
Case. I'm on
Me and
Case.
you, Spades.
I just
Me
want
and
you guys to
you.
know. I just want you guys to know tonight. I don't think I could be more locked in than I am right now.
I think you were wrong on both of your locks that you made last week. You made 2 and you got them.
2 locks.
Well, he
0 for
started
2.
his lock with Spades, and then
Oh,
he
I think
changed
I
it
locked
after.
Spates and Breen. Is that like
Twice.
a double negative?
That's
Twice.
amazing. That's amazing.
That stupid Duracell quad lock thing is 0 and 8.
Screwing us.
It's
Oh,
0 and 8.
quad locking. Guys,
Oh,
we are
two.
definitely quad locking tonight, just so we're clear.
Oh
Sorry.
no.
So,
All right. So here's the way we're gonna do the weekend review. Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna
Okay.
talk about last week real quick. I'll give a couple things, and then I'm gonna toss it to you guys for each of a question, and then we'll move on, and then we'll do the previews later. So don't worry about that stuff. All right. So first game, Mike, you ready to be talent? I'm so scared for you. I'm very scared for you.
For me?
Yeah, but you look
You
nice.
say, are you ready to be talent?
Yeah, talent.
Ready-
The
ready to
talent.
Oh,
the
he's
talent.
worried I'm not. I rise up, dude. I think I
All
went. Oh, I think I went 0 for 10 tonight in my basketball game. Just so we're clear. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Well, a good game for us to start on. It was the.
So hey, my
see-
daughter went to the game. My 8-year-old went to the
you
game,
went 0 for
and she's
10?
like, "Hey, Dad, you didn't make any shots." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Thanks. Like, appreciate it."
Just like high school, Ev.
She's like, "You tried hard." She goes, "You tried hard, Daddy." I was like, "That's not a compliment. Ev.
Ugh.
Don't say that to people."
Yeah, that's a bad one. All right. Me versus Mike, 28-point win for me. That's a season sweep for me. It's my 3rd straight win. Mike had won 3 in a row, but
No, I beat you in the
um,
playoffs, dude.
no, you had won 3 in a row coming into this game.
Oh.
You had won 3 in a row coming into this game, but as the host of the podcast has changed.
Sit tight. Sit tight. You'll talk when he's done.
I can't.
He's very anxious.
No. I have no anxiety right now.
All right. Well,
Sometimes.
just like the host of the podcast, I took this win and I'm going to take this job from you.
You can have it. It's thankless. No one thanks you. It's thankless. You can have it.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how I won this one. Mike was able to fill the hole that Kyler Murray left, although it was a little hole. He still was able to fill it with Jimmy G and Devontae Adams and Hopkins. They all had great games, so I really don't know what happened. So, Mike, my question for you:
Yeah, I do.
your Week 11 problems, are they going to be addressed, or with Lloyd and Christian on the horizon, are you going to wait this one out?
Well, I don't know.
The
I don't
sweat.
know. I don't know.
Well,
I think there's one problem that I knew I was going to have this week was my Miami stack. I think it's likely Wilson and Hill, but not having Tyreek, you're obviously going to hit. Do you know how excited I was this week to play Kadarius Toney? I was like, this is it. This is the moment. I held on to the guy for 2 years because I
Let him
saw
play
the
it out.
upside. He makes the catch last week where he does the thing with the gloves, and I'm like, he's my type of guy. Showtime, like way over. He got 0 points.
That's your type of guy.
My type of guy. Yeah, there's a couple problems on my team. I'm a little worried about a few spots.
Are you going to address them, or are you going to? Do you see Christian and Lloyd, and you're like, nah, I could be.
I don't view Christian and Lloyd as I need to solve my own house problems versus Christian. I would like to make one move. and I know the spot on my roster I want to make. Whether or not I do, I could see myself not, because I don't want to over index on the wrong value, but I would like to make a move. I would like to make a move to shore up that bottom bench spot. So
Okay,
if the league is listening,
who's ready to sell?
If you'd want someone
Or sit tight.
for future assets, the guy who I think is attractive, not this year, I represent DJ Moore. I do think for someone next year, if they get a new quarterback,
He's made everyone collectively puke.
so if someone wants DJ Moore, and if someone wants to go a little bit bigger, the Lions backfield is confusing to me. So I would be happy to move Swift, but I want value. I want value, Christian. I want value if I'm going to move those guys.
I thought you were gonna say for the future that Kadarius Toney was gonna be worth something.
I wouldn't defend the league by that.
I got a question, Mike. Would you consider trading the Detroit guys to Christian, knowing you're going to play him in like a big game this week?
Sure.
Interesting. All right, Casey, I have a question for you. Mike has Christian next week. As somebody that is a professional at beating him, what advice would you give him for going into this week?
I think Mike just needs to sit tight on his starting roster, getting Miami guys back. I think that's going to be enough to beat Christian this week and probably take care of Lloyd. The one thing that I've been saying to Mike on air, off air, forever is that Kyler Murray is a professional loser. All right. There are some people in sports who are just losers. Zach Wilson's one. Kyler Murray's one.
Mac Jones won.
He's Mac Jones. Maybe. No, but those guys like uber talented, think they're better than everybody else. Don't need to do the same stuff. Losers. He's one. You'll never win a fantasy championship with him, Mike. Sorry. So I would make a move there.
I know you feel that way, kid.
All right. Well, Steve, I saved the most important question for you because the last 3 weeks were really more like they were very important for me. Yeah. This is my boy. So I was like, I want to know. But now that Fields is hurt and Fields has kind of guided me through these big playoff wins, am I screwed, or what do you see for me going forward? Do you think Fields has me sunk?
Well, I think a lot of guys in your lineup over the last couple of weeks, you've done a nice job in matchup-based lineups, right? A lot of the trades you've made have been to put the guys in your lineup in the best matchups, not necessarily the most amount of talent. So like Pacheco this week, obviously with the Chargers, weak run defense, you wanted him in that lineup. He gets you 107 yards. Do I think you're dead in the water? No, because you're 8-3 and you're in a really good spot to get into the playoffs. And Fields is not a season-ending injury. Do I think you're dead? No.
I thought he was out for the season.
No.
What?
Separated shoulder.
All right. Well, stop trying to trade
him. I don't think you're dead in the water because I do think you have a couple of guys coming back in Kirk and Lockett this week that are going to share up some spots in your lineup. I think you can get by with a quarterback. They'll be able to get you, high teens. Find someone on the waiver wire, or maybe even make a trade with someone. No, I don't
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'd probably roll with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Pete, you want Kirk Cousins? He had a good week.
No, no, I don't know. It's hard finding a quarterback. Really, honestly, look at the ones available, and there's no one. Like, I'll trade for one, I'll overpay for one, but it's just hard to find one. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the next game. The next game was a big one. It was 4 against 5. This was DeVito against Innis. So DeVito now jumps into the 3 seed and puts the pressure on Mike next week to win. Oh, good for you passing the baton there. It's everyone's favorite Aqua Fresca, Jeff Innis. Let's talk about Jeff and DeVito coming up on this one. Steve rebounds with his first win since the week 8 boom. It was very disappointing for Jeff, who put up 130, 140, 160 in consecutive weeks, and then doesn't even hit 100 for this one. Steve got it done behind 4 touchdowns from Joe Burrow. No stack action, but Higgins had a good game. Kittle and Connor, of course, they added an extra 40 points on the top, so it made it look a lot worse than it really was, quite frankly. But Steve, a lot of things went well for you. Yahoo gave you an A- effort, but you're 7-4. You have the 3 seed. You have 3 very winnable matchups coming up. How confident are you that you're a playoff team?
Uh-oh.
Well, I think the guys that are sitting back in the 5-6 spots are the point. We talked about this. The point differential is what's going to make or break. And obviously playing Innis this week, that was a big win. And having Christian on the horizon, I think for the last 4 games, if I can find a way to go 2-2, I'll be in the playoffs just based on points alone. So I do need a couple of these guys to have a little bit more consistency than they've had. And I think, like Mike said, I'm open to trading as well. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Getting Godwin back in the lineup, and hopefully Smith-Schuster can get healthy will help too.
Well, there you go. Steve DeVito guaranteeing a playoff run, championship run, and open to sell all of his studs. Casey, this was a bad loss for Jeff, who we all agree was starting to build some momentum. When you look at his roster and where he is in the schedule, where he is in the standings and what his schedule is, does he stay the course and try to beat Breen, or does he hit the ejection button right now and bounce out?
So I think he should stay in it, especially if he can make a move this week with some other teams that are falling out of it to just kind of beef up some spots, because I think he has a nice schedule coming up. He's got Breen this week, who's tumbling or continues his fall from grace.
What was
He's
the team?
got
It was tumbling, right? He said
tumbling, yeah.
This guy is tumbling.
Yeah. He's got you, which would be a crucial matchup, depending on what happened with Fields in 2 weeks. Then he's got Lloyd, and then he's got a huge matchup against Mike at the last game of the year, which that could determine that fourth spot if things stay the way they are. DeVito's right about the point differential, though, so he's going to need to get wins, probably more so than points. So if I'm him, I'd try to probably accumulate a guy or two just to fill out, because I do think getting DK back in there helps. I remember when we were talking about him getting Thielen for me for just a pick, just to help his bench. He told me, like, I'm really scared about Palmer. And I sort of used that saying, like, yeah, play Thielen. I'll take a third. And then when it was happening, I said, hey, you probably should have played Palmer. And he was like, yeah, you think? But I do think if Mike Williams is out for longer, Palmer value still sticks around. But Jonathan Taylor and Jeff Saturday's old school football, run the football, control line of scrimmage, like that's going to play into his favor. He just needs to get a better player ahead of like Gabe Davis and Elijah Mitchell and Deontay Johnson in his lineup, so those guys sort of move down the slot.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, you have an interesting.
So buy, Jeff. Buy.
Yeah. Well, Casey thinks you should buy, but also don't take his advice. Mike, That's
good advice.
Mike, let me bring you up to speed here. We're talking about DeVito and Casey. I know you probably lost someone out there in the woods. Okay, I'm just making sure. You have an interesting angle. Kyler Murray's not good, and we all know this. Lamar Jackson's also not good, but no one realizes it. What advice do you have for Jeff as someone else who is standing by an overrated quarterback?
One, don't disparage Kyler. I don't feel what Case feels. Kyler, you're my guy. I'm riding you, buddy. Let's do it. So
same guy went 0 for 10 in a men's league game tonight.
Don't you?
The luck's spoiling, man.
Don't you do that. So here, interesting. Kyler Murray, after 3 weeks, was the #1 quarterback in fantasy. I was in the position where I'm like, whoa, like Kyler.
Only you and Kyler's mom know that stat.
2000. Wait, did I say Kyler or Lamar? I meant to say Lamar. Kyler.
Okay, only you and Lamar's mom know that.
Lamar was the #1 quarterback after 3 weeks. Between week 4 and week whatever we are, 11. He's the 14th ranked quarterback in the NFL. And so I read that stat and I was like, wow, that seems interesting. Ooh. And then I looked and I was like, you know what? If you look at what happened to the Ravens, they lost Dobbins, they lost Bateman. And so they've lost these guys that they're now depending on a more ground and pound offense, way less big plays. If I'm Jeff, again, I don't know how valuable quarterbacks are in this league. I think Lamar Jackson is a problem down the stretch because I don't think it's going to get easier for the Ravens. And I don't know if I would trust Lamar. And if he offered me Lamar straight out for Kyler, guess what the answer is, Case?
You should take him.
I'd probably
give me some love. I traded.
He just got Mark Andrews back.
I saw this coming a month away.
He had Mark Andrews back last week. They scored 13 points against the Forest Panthers.
It was Mark Andrews.
He's the only thing they got.
Nah, but I don't. Case, you've seen football. You've watched football. To be successful in the NFL, you can't have the best player on the field be a tight end if you don't have a quarterback who can throw it like Mahomes.
I have a hot take that the Ravens are doing this intentionally so they don't have to pay his contract.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, they're like, nah, we're just going to put in who's the running back that they have out there? Kenyon Drake. J.K. Dobbins is gone. All right, we'll just get Kenyon Drake in there. It's like they want to see him do terrible.
You know who's coming back this week?
Who?
Gus. Yeah,
the Bus. Bus is back.
He'll be out by the second quarter with some ailment.
All right. Well, Mike, you can essentially end Jeff's season this week, all but ensuring a new Super Bowl champion in 2023. So that will be kind of exciting.
Yeah, I think if I win and Innis loses, Innis is out and Breen moves into the spoiler spot. Is what I think it looks like, because as Steve said, the points are pretty far off right now.
And then we're going to have a new champ. And if we're talking about new champs, let's transition to Andy and Casey. And we're obviously talking about Andy in that situation. The number 1 seed DeVita against the number 10 seed Casey. Andy rebounds from his 1 loss of the year with a 176 boom. He also clinched the first playoff spot, so he seems to be just fine. Casey, it's more of the same. His team is way past their 7th beer. It's time to take this one out and bury it in the back. I don't even really see Casey playing spoiler here. Casey, you tried. Are you embracing your role of a spoiler this year, or are you just going to bend over and take it like you did the last 24 seasons?
Whoa, that was aggressive.
Yeah. Next time, can you just make it sound more natural? Not like you're just reading stuff. That'd be better.
That's your call. How you like the reading joke, huh?
You just read.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't seem to have a problem with it over the summer when you cried to get back on this podcast.
I didn't try to get back on, did I?
Sure you did.
Yeah, I remember face to face. You had a nice intimate discussion with me about what? No, not anymore. You didn't mention anything about me reading then, did you?
Was this before?
Hey, no.
Was this before or after the wine? Was this before or after the wine?
Before you make another joke, have a little respect for somebody who
I'm not responsible for anything I said after the
that you're
wine.
addicted to. Remember. Go ahead.
Thank God I make up half your
go ahead.
viewership.
You're gonna go back to it if you don't watch your mouth.
I'm trying to play spoiler. My team just doesn't perform, so I'm trying to play spoiler.
Born ready for this.
All right, next one. Who's up there? Steve, let's go to you. I want you guys to know. Mike, I want to go to you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm second on the list here. I'm ready to go. I'm not batting third every time, Pete. This is you've demoted me, and you're now really putting me in
Mike
the
likes
back
to
of
drop
the
the
bus.
bunt down.
Come on,
I knew Casey wasn't going to play spoiler, but I didn't know he was going to take it that bad of that conversation. Mike, I want to talk about Andy. It's just more of the same. What?
I'm supposed to talk about Casey. I'm prepared to talk about Casey.
Follow your own notes.
No. Will you hold on? I'm not even through my thing. I want to talk about Andy. It's more of the same. If you were going to buy Andy's team, how much would you offer for it in cash?
None. I don't want Andy's team. I want my team.
Okay, well, I was just joking. It was a stupid joke. Sorry. Casey.
Scratch it out.
Casey has 2 wins and he has no picks. What advice do you have for your friend?
So without the picks, he's going to have to go the angle that he's actually gone. I don't have advice for him. Last season, he buried his own grave a little bit because he pushed his chips all in, and then his entire team got hurt, and his team is still hurt. If I'm Case, I kind of do the thing that I'm doing. I would load up on young receivers. I would load up on high upside guys. There's still a couple guys on his roster that if I were him would not be on my roster by the end of the week. More specifically, if he wants some actual advice, Keenan Allen should not be on Case's roster at the end of the week. Keenan Allen to Brian Casey is a useless asset.
Really?
He's someone who's, Keenan Allen's 30 years old, man. Like Brian Casey's team's not winning next year. Brian Casey
Allen is also
has
healthy
to be
right
relevant
now.
for 2 years. Yeah, but Pete, he's healthy for what?
No. That's what I'm saying. You should trade him now. He is like, this is the window that he is open.
So a guy like him, I don't know how much you can get for Cooks, but like if I'm Case, I'd look at those 29, 30-year-old receivers who I think for Keenan Allen, he can get value for him. Even Andrews, but I think you want youth, you want athleticism, and you want guys that can sustain, but could be a tough season next year, but you still want upside. That's how I would think about it if I was Casey. And I will say, I do think Casey's done a pretty good job setting himself up for the future in back-to-back disappointing seasons.
Ooh.
This disappointment just came much earlier in the year.
Casey, with Keenan Allen, are you thinking of buying, sitting, or sitting on top of him? What is it? You gonna go the all right, Steve, for Mahomes, I want to talk to you about this.
I'm willing to still sell. Yeah, I'm still willing to sell.
All right, there you go. I heard on another podcast, I think it was CBS, I don't remember, but I heard that Mahomes is 1 fantasy point ahead of his MVP pace. That's pretty crazy, and he's doing it without Tyreek Hill. So this is pretty out of control. What I want to know is if DeVita ends up winning this whole league, would Mahomes for 2 first-round picks go down as one of the greatest trades in the history of the league?
Question.
Absolutely. I think that joins in the Priest Holmes trade, doesn't it?
Oh, this keeps taking a beating.
Think about this. Mahomes and Kelsey score 75 points this week, and they're averaging over 50 points every week for DeVita. That's almost like an automatic 50 before he even starts the week. So,
in fairness about the Priest Holmes thing, I wasn't even in the league for 2 seconds, and Pete started.
Pete took advantage of Case, just like he does every podcast.
Oh, that's
what I was trying to get at what I was trying to get at here was that that's another Chiefs trade that was lopsided in the league. And for DeVita, that to me was the thing that has put him over the top. Getting Mahomes, a guy who's scoring 25 to 35 points a week in that quarterback spot. That's what he needed, because when he was riding with Russell Wilson, as they can tell in Broncos country, it's not going so well. So getting that spot there, I do worry again. We've said this all year, but now he's getting injuries galore at the bottom half of his roster. And the pace that some of these guys are on, the pace that some of these guys are on, you saw it happen with Jones and Diggs this week, slowed a little bit. But if he's going to continue to get 75 points a week from Mahomes and Kelsey, I mean, who's going to stop him?
Steve, to transition a little bit between this game and the next game, do you think if we polled Kevin, do you think in hindsight he would say, I made a big mistake? He, as Andy and Kevin share with us, he offered Mahomes before he offered Allen. Do you think Kevin regrets that, and is that costing him a potential trip to the playoffs?
The crazy part about that, though, if no matter what happens here for DeVita, he's going to have a stack with Diggs and Allen or Mahomes and Kelsey. So I don't think for DeVita it makes a massive difference, because Allen has had a great year too. So I don't think that's going to make a difference in Breen's roster either. I really and truly don't.
You don't? Yeah. Don't look, Steve. I'm curious.
I'm not looking.
If you look right now, I have not done this. How many total fantasy points do you think Mahomes has this season and Allen has this season?
I have no idea.
Or even tell me how much more one is than the other.
I'm sure Mahomes has got to be what?
Yeah.
60 points ahead of Allen?
He's only 10 points more than Allen.
Wow, really? That doesn't seem like that.
Doesn't seem like that. It feels like if you look recently, I feel like Mahomes has been a lot better than that.
But the fact that DeVita got this on his roster is the major difference.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So regardless of where its place in history is, it has led to very different paths. Breen is 2-6 now since the trade. DeVita is 7-1, which is just absolutely amazing.
Pete, there feels like to me that there really was two forks in the road after that trade. And I don't know why. And I looked at that. I was expecting Mahomes to have way more points than Allen. I was expecting it to be very obvious that Mahomes was way better than Allen was. And I wonder if Kevin had made the trade and he sent Josh Allen to bring it to DeVita for 2 picks, if we would feel similarly. And it was just DeVita's roster's always been better. And he got us. I don't know. It's an interesting fork in the road moment for the league.
Yeah, no, it was a 50-50 decision, and DeVita nailed it. Or Breen blew it, however you want to look at it, I guess.
But I mean, a 10-point swing, the whole point here is that DeVita needed that extra layer in the top of his lineup, and he got it no matter who it was going to be.
Yeah. Casey, you okay over there? You getting all beat up? You all right?
I'm good. I think the
Case
key
is very good. Case is very consistent. One of Case's best comment. He doesn't care at all what we say. He's very consistent.
That's what I love the most about him. Yeah.
That's why I love beating him so much when I actually do beat him. I think Andy's key is Henry. He's 10-1. The one game he's lost this week is the week that Derek stunk.
Like 5 points, right?
So and Mahomes and Kelsey were both good last week. So he still needs Henry.
All right. Well, Breen has lost a ton in a row. And just when you think it could get worse, it is number 6, Breen, against number 9, Lloyd, last week. Nice.
Oh my God. I hate Kevin.
Lloyd wins 130-101. It's Lloyd's highest score since his boom in week 7 when he joined the show. And it was his first time he ever beat Breen since joining the league. So congratulations, Dan. Get your first win over Big Kev. So Breen, he's lost 5 straight. It's a streak that's only behind Brian Casey's 8 games. Sorry, I wrote this before, Case. I don't mean to pile on you. Only Casey has had a longer losing streak of 8.
He doesn't care. The beauty of Case, I promise he doesn't care.
This was Kevin's lowest score of the season. He picked a really bad time for it. Mike, of Breen's 4 wins, 3 of them came against Lloyd, Christian, and D'Adarian. Was Breen ever really good at all this year, or no? I'm confused.
Christian and
D'Adarian. That's okay. That's okay. I know your question.
It was against Lloyd, Christian. Lloyd, Casey, and D'Adarian. Sorry.
Oh wow, that's pretty bad. He still is 3rd in points, and so I think every year there's always a team that gets really unlucky on one side and always a team that gets really unlucky on the other. And so Innis sitting in 5th, his team has been a dumpster fire. Somehow he has 5 wins. Breen has, if you just look at the numbers, Breen has 300 more points. And it's just like what you look at. I think Breen's team still is like pretty average. And so on the course of the season, do I think he's ever been great? No. I think he has a couple guys who are trustworthy, but he's taken a ton of swings every week. And I think when you have that proposition and you get unlucky a couple times, you fall where he fell. I don't think he's done yet. And so if I'm Kevin, I still think his path to the playoffs is even clearer than a guy like Darian, who's a game above him. And so I hope Breen stays the course, but we'll see. I'll be curious if he sells between now and the end of the week. But his team to me is a very average, middling team at the moment.
Mike, he's 4-7 with 4 to go. Right? Is it 4 to go or 5?
4.
4 to go.
So 4 to go at 4-7. So if he wins out, the best he can finish is 8-7.
RSO.
If you're at 500.
Good math. Good math.
I mean, he's
No, but
going
I'm
to
saying,
need.
Mike,
He's
you're
gonna need-
Greyhounds.
Well, he's going to need
and
me
2 for
or
you.
you to lose. He's going to need me or you to lose a significant amount. He's close enough to points with me though, Steve, where if I go 2-2 and he goes 4-0, he could catch me. Like he's not that. That's what I'm saying. He's not that far off.
He has to have a
compared to-
perfect, but he's got to have a perfect finish.
I agree. He's got to be perfect. He's got to be perfect.
Yeah. So that was basically my question for you, Steve. For the second week in a row, when I was really looking at Breen's roster, he didn't have one aside from Allen. If you look at the last 2 weeks, aside from Allen was the only guy that scored over 20 points of anybody. And so like this past week, he hasn't had any players go above 20 points. That's extremely bad for somebody that was leading the league in scoring going into it. So yeah, I just wanted to know where the firepower went.
Well, one of the quotes from the Pita DeLuca Twitter. The boomability. The boomability of the team. And I think that's one thing that Breen has been lacking over the last couple of weeks is the boomability.
Oh, Pete's tweets.
Pete's
tweets. I look at Pete's tweets. They're like, how many views? 3 views a week. I'm like, oh, I think it might just be the 3 of us.
It's all it is.
Like,
I go for quality.
You guys watch The Office. It should be like Creed. www.creedthoughts.gov/
Creed thoughts.
No.
All right, Casey.
Yeah.
Lloyd gets a W to put him at 4-7. That's 2 games above you with 4 remaining. You guys play each other on week 15, which looks more and more like you're going to need him to slip up for that one. But I wanted to know, how do you feel about this one? Essentially having to play from behind on your side bet going forward.
This is awful. I hate Kevin. You have to assume that there's some.
Blaming other people.
I hate his fantasy game, Mike. Not him as a
Come
person.
on, boy.
I hate his fantasy game.
It's
I
not
also
his
hate
fault.
my fantasy game.
It's not his fault. You're 2-9, dude. Like, come on. have
No,
some
I
ownership,
know.
man.
Believe me, I know.
Some pride, man. Jeez.
But how about this? Like, look at our 2 rosters. Lloyd lose another guy to IR. He's still winning games. Like half his team is on IR, and I still can't make up any ground. It's freaking
DeVito
terrible.
move right there, winning with guys on the IR. Yeah.
No kidding. It's freaking terrible.
Jalen Rager getting signed tomorrow.
Best thing I can hope for is Lloyd stays at 4 and I get to 3, and then I beat him the last game of the week, and I have a point advantage on him. So
Hey, so you got to be nervous, dude. He won this game with Ken Walker on a bye, who's been like his best player.
and Tua.
I
Yeah.
know.
So
I know.
Kev couldn't even show up.
Between,
And I tried to tell Kev, like, hey, Kev, do you want Thielen? Do you want Cooks? Do you want some of these guys for like a playoff push? He doesn't want any of them. He just wants to
This
stay
is
on
what I'm saying,
guys.
dude. You're being you would have lost to Lloyd. Don't blame Kevin, dude. Don't do that. Lloyd beat you this week.
Yeah, just this week.
you can be in him.
Last week I beat him, Mike. Last week I would have beat him. And
Hey, Case, between the mustard, the shirt, and the side bet, how much of the hole are you in now?
the shirt was good. It was a good Amazon Prime deal.
Oh, well, that's good. I guess that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's speak of the mustard boy. Let's get this wrap up. Let's put a bow on this one.
Good,
7.
Good segue. Good segue.
Yeah, thanks. I planned it. I wrote it.
Speaking of,
Thanks for the easy segue there. Number 7 Spates against number 8 Darian. Darian stays relevant with a 158 win over CJ. It was Christian's 2 highest scores of the year both came against CJ. So some friend you are. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Friend.
Yeah.
Wow. He's really going up to the tall boy.
Yeah, he's now 5-6, and he's got a big one coming up against Mike, the much anticipated goals. Steve, let's go to you first. Both Darian and Spates. I know you like your projections. You look at that current projections tab a lot. They're both projected to be 5-10. I want to tell you, yeah, got to read those blue. But who really cares about the game? Because no one cares about the game. I want to know, if you were forced to switch teams with one of them, who are you taking? Would you take Darian, who essentially has a worse team but 3 first-round picks next year, or a Spates, who has a higher scoring team but 3 second-round picks next year?
Wow. I would probably take Spates. I like players on his roster a bit more than I like Darian's. I would take McCaffrey, Olave, Smith, Williams, and the ability that he's got coming back. Man, it is close because I like ETN, but I take Spates.
One of the things now that I just realized as I was reading this back is those 2 guys are probably going to be in buying positions, and they have a ton of picks already. So that's not good. It's going to be terrible for all of us. Anyway.
Yeah, especially with Christian making offers. His offers are terrible.
Terrible, dude. Terrible.
Terrible offers.
Both teams have tough matchups going forward. Who's more likely to pull off the upset? You got Spates playing DeVita, or you got Darian playing Colelli, or C, none of the above?
Yeah, I was just taking a look at this, Pete. I see none of the above. I don't like either matchup. Foreshadowing for picks later in the week. If I had to take a guess, if I had to pick one, I would pick Christian. I hate doing that against Mike because Mike still has Kyler Murray.
All right, so Casey likes Christian over Colelli more than
maybe pick the wrong Detroit backfield guy. Maybe one of your big guys doesn't play. I think it's better. I don't think anybody's beating DeVita.
All right, you heard it here first. Casey guarantees a Darian win over Colelli. All right, Mike, as the 4 seed.
That sounded like a guarantee, didn't it?
As the 4 seed, Mike, it's getting kind of real here. Without any specifics, are you planning to do something here to make sure that you're against the Darian is going to be a win? It's a week.
I'm making a move. I'm making a move this week. I'm making a move. Right.
Don't get into specifics, but
I'm just saying during this podcast, I've even sent out a couple of feelers to see.
All right. I've been seeing. I'm keep looking at my phone. I go, I don't know when I'm getting a text.
Just so you guys know, I shot down Casey's. I sent him a text right away.
You probably guessed the player.
All right.
Come on, Case. That was funny.
He looked good this week, Mike. Wish I had him all year.
Let's do something a little bit different. Thanks, Steve. Let's do something a little bit different.
I am going to freaking blow up this segment.
Okay, we have our week preview coming up.
I brought a second beer downstairs.
I need another beer. You want to take a beer break?
Nah, keep going. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Week 12 preview. We already talked about the trade deadline. No one cares. After that, everything is paused until Tuesday after the Super Bowl. I'm not repeating that again. All right, let's agree to go through 2 games really quickly. We got me against Lloyd, and we got Spates against DeVita. I say we just I don't want to go out on a limb here, but does anyone have anything that's that they want to really talk about, or do you want to buzz through those ones quickly? I got an idea. Wait a minute. I got an ecstatic idea.
I didn't hear your question.
This is breaking news.
I didn't hear your question. What was your question?
Why don't we play a game of buy, sell, or sit on it with these 2 games? Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. That's the most original idea you've ever had in the podcast, Pete.
Who are we sitting on?
Is anybody going to pick any booms out of this or locks out of this or anything like that?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll give it its normal due. I'm 5-2.
Can we get a beer?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Mike, go get a beer. Just walk. Oh, Mike.
Hey.
Well,
okay.
All right, sell or sit on it.
All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a different thing. Okay, so for the preview, we're gonna do these 2 the game previews. Mike, go ahead.
Take your time through this. I feel like we're having a great time. Being the talent versus the host, way better.
I know it is nice. It is nice to just show up.
It sucks being the host because everyone just throws you off your plan anyways.
Non-stop.
None of you are good one.
Good thing I have written down.
Steve's yawning, so we're gonna get through this quickly. All right,
great.
I've been yawning all day.
Yeah, the SRO. Him and the SRO had a tough day, Pete.
All right, we're gonna start with the 2 seed and the 9 seed. Me against Lloyd. Okay. We're gonna play a little game of F, Marry, Kill, which is going to be similar. It's going to be buy, sell, or sit tight. So it's going to be like F, Marry, Kill, but that same thing. So this game's going to be kind of boring. I'm going to pick myself. So I wanted to ask you guys. Let me go through the names.
Okay, I have a question though. Is it this week or this season?
For going forward, rest of the season.
Okay,
all right.
Wait, this season or Dynasty?
Dynasty.
All right.
So hold on.
Yep.
A great question.
Yep.
Wait, Case. Give me credit. That was a good question.
No, it's a good question.
Thanks.
I've had better.
If we're trying to make the correlation that F, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
Right. Which one is Marry versus
So F is by,
Wait a second.
No,
Have you ever
no,
played
no,
the
no,
game?
nope,
sit
nope,
tight is
pause.
Mary.
No, Steve.
Is
no,
by
no,
no, is by is Mary?
Nope,
Or-
nope. So here's the way the game gets played. I'm gonna do this. So you're gonna try to sidetrack it. I get it, but no, it's not the same. It's not. There's no correlation between F, Mary, kill. It's the same concept: buy, sell, or sit tight. So
Thank
the
you for
first one
clarification.
for Lloyd, it's Drake London, Ken Walker, Jamar Chase. Who is your F? I mean, buy, sell, sit tight. Colelli, go first.
So I'm going to try to be a little bit off the radar here. I'm going to buy Ken Walker. I think Ken Walker for Lloyd's team in the future is a really good one. Sit tight with Chase. He knows who Chase is. And if he's going to sell anyone, even though you wrote Drake Carter in the email, I think it's Drake London. And I'm happy to sell Drake London if
Drake
I'm
Carter
Lloyd.
sounds like a pop star. I think I messed that one up.
I think he was in One Tree Hill, if I have to be.
DeVito, who you got?
I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna buy Drake London. I'm gonna
What?
sit tight with Jamar Chase because we know who Jamar Chase is. And I'm gonna sell high on Ken Walker because
Wow.
of the way that our system is. And Geno Smith is not going to be the quarterback there, considering how old he is and how old Pete Carroll is. And I'm not buying Ken Walker as a long-term fit.
If you were Lloyd, would you trade him this week?
I'm saying.
I'd consider it if I could get a high return
That's
for
the
him.
point
I
of the
would
game,
consider it.
Colelli. What do you think sell means?
I could see it happening.
Yeah, it has to do with the trade deadline. See the correlation there?
Read between the lines, Mike.
Casey, buy, sell, sit tight. Who you starting with? Who you buying? Drake London, Ken Walker, or Jamar Chase?
I'm going to sit tight on Jamar. I'm going to buy Ken, and I'm going to sell Drake.
Oof, much different ones. Jeez. All right. Well, I think if I had my choice, I would be sitting on Chase because he's very handsome, and then maybe I would buy Walker. I'd sell London, but I don't think anyone wants him.
I don't think anybody wants him.
Yeah. All right. I'll make this one quick. I'm going to blow up Lloyd like he's a Spanish announce table in the WWF. I'm going to pick myself and I'm going to make myself the lock of the week.
Well, let's quad lock Pete and screw him.
Who wants to go next?
You're the host.
You tell
Okay.
us.
Case, go next. You haven't talked. You're shy.
I'm going to lock in DeLuca.
Oh, geez. All right. DeVito, you go.
Make it 3.
Oh, no.
You want to lock him? You want to lock him, Steve?
Yep.
Why is this
Yeah.
happening? Clearly, go ahead.
Pete, is this your roster?
No, I mean, I don't. Well, this week kind of throws a wrench in it because
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
yeah, it's hard. It's
Tuesday,
hard.
but Case, we have 3 games in 2 days, dude.
Yeah.
I know, Mike. I
usually wait till the weekend, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So yeah, probably. I don't think anyone's willing to do any trades with me.
So it's a hard one because I don't think he's playing Daniel Jones. So he's obviously going to play Tua. I think Tua is a smart play, good matchup against the Texans. He's going to have Ken Walker in for the pit spot. And then I think he's likely going to have to make a couple moves. I can't imagine he plays Michael Carter. And so the roster, he's I'm going to call him a suspense Lloyd. He's a suspense Lloyd. Leaves us in suspense. We can't do this pod without him. I'm not going to lock you, Pete, but I think you'll win. I think your team is in a good spot.
Oh,
I am not at.
No Duracells.
I'm not that. Just so we're clear, I'm not that far off from picking Dan this week. There's something about your team.
Oh, God.
There's something about your team I don't trust, and you crushed me this week, and I know that.
They're not very intimidating.
Heavy words come from the guy who just ran over.
I'm taking Lloyd.
One word.
Lloyd.
Was it
Think about
upset,
it.
Mike?
Upset of the
Boom
week.
ability.
Set of the week.
Here, can I tell you why? Can I tell you what?
This is
I
such a
think-
non-factor. We played a game with his team. That's how little I care about this game.
How many points? How many points do you have to beat Monday night going against Pickens and Najee?
I haven't even looked at his roster. I don't even know who he has.
Okay,
At
well, he's got-
Indianapolis?
and Paris,
He has
and,
half your old guys.
and Paris Campbell. I'm taking Lloyd. I like Lloyd. Let's go, Lloyd. Happy Thanksgiving, Dan. Someone's gonna appreciate you.
Now, the last time you did this was last week with Spates, and then we went through the picks and you switched. Are you going to
What?
do that again?
No, he's my upset. I will likely pick another upset again, but Case, this is the upset I want to.
Mike has been red hot lately on the
board.
picks.
Yeah, this is a bad sign for Dan. I'm taking Dan. I like Dan. Dan, let's do it.
All right, we all in? You guys got all your picks?
And
Ooh, is Chase gonna be back this
Wait,
week? Is Chase
wait,
back
we
this week?
didn't
No, Chase
We
is not
didn't-
going to play this week.
we didn't buy,
Oh.
sell, and sit on you.
No, there's not because there's nothing to do there.
Oh, sorry.
That's why you have
Mike,
to
look at the
understand.
thing.
Yeah, you have to understand the point of the game. All right,
I
let's
don't
talk about the
understand.
next game. It is the number 8 seed.
I
Spades
would sell
against
Pete.
DeVita.
Mike would buy
DeVita
Pete.
is
Steve
Mike.
would sit tight on Pete.
I don't understand the point of the game.
The last time DeVita played, he won by 20. I picked DeVita to boom last week, and I went away from that because I went for that terribly trendy pick of Casey instead in the
Bad move.
upset. I should have
Bad
known
pick.
better. But I'm gonna pick Andy, and I'm gonna pick him to boom. All right, so let's play a game of buy, sell, sit tight with DeVita's people. Okay, so DeVita heavily in the driver's seat. I want to know these 3 players on DeVita's team. Are you gonna buy, sell, or sit tight? Brees Hall, Kareem Hunt, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think the sell. I don't know. All right, go ahead, Steve. Who do you got first?
Sell Clyde.
Who's buying?
Clyde. I want to sell Edwards-Helaire because he stinks.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit tight with Hunt because just use him as your handcuff with Chubb. And I'm buying Brees Hall.
Oh,
Long term.
Mike, you look like you strongly disagree with that.
Strongly disagree with that. I'm going to also sit tight with Hunt because I think Hunt is a good. If Chubb goes down, sit him on your roster, and you have a starter in the playoffs that no one knew you had.
So wait a minute, hold on. You're going to agree with the Hunt one, but you're going to disagree with Hall and Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, I'm selling Brees Hall because if I'm DeVita, I have DeVita's in the driver's seat to win this season, dude. And Brees Hall, guess how much he's going to help? Who's going to help more this season, Brees Hall or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah. Neither.
Neither, but Brees Hall for someone else, because like the same concept that we just talked about with Drake London. If you want to sell CEH, cut him. There's no sell. There's no market for him. And so I do think DeVita, if he's thinking about this season, I would sell Brees Hall, and I'd go to a guy like Case and offer Brees Hall for Keenan Allen. I would sell Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall
has that offer been out there?
I mean, I just sent Case an offer. He didn't reply to it yet. So
I think that offer
preoccupied time.
Yeah. All right,
so that's
Case,
how I would do it.
Case, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good too to me.
Who you buying? Brees Hall, Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, I'm with Mike. Let's sell Brees.
See, I think you got to.
He doesn't help. He's right. It doesn't help DeVita this year if he's trying to win. If we're looking at it as a this year move, it makes total sense.
I think that's the move DeVita can make to really shore up his title. Like he can go get a legitimate starter. He played Hayden Hurst this week, guys. Like that's not cutting it in the playoffs.
I think you got to sell. You got to buy. You got to buy Kareem Hunt.
You could buy Hunt. I think Hunt's a good buy.
You got to sell Brees Hall because that's of no use. And I think you got to sit tight with Clyde Edwards-Helaire because no one is going to give you anything for him.
I agree. I think that's right, Pete. I think that's the right, Pete.
All right, let's get into the normal game previews. Let's talk about the.
I get the game now.
Oh yeah, wait. Did you guys already make your picks? Everyone made their picks. Everyone have DeVita. Any superlatives?
DeVita's my lock. DeVita's my lock.
All right, what do we got? Casey, did everyone make picks?
Sorry, Spade.
No one made picks.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take Andy as my boom.
Okay. I got yours.
Okay.
You had that. Yeah, you had yours in it.
I locked Andy.
Lock and Andy. Steve, what do you got?
Andy.
Nothing.
Nope.
Okay. Please, what do you think?
I'm going DeVita as my boom because he's the only one that I hit my boom with. So
yeah, he seems to be a solid bet in the boom category.
Yeah, he's a high boomage return.
High boomage return on boomage.
Boomability.
Okay. Boomability. There's so many words. All right, the number 5 seed.
ROB. He's ROB.
Number 7 seed Breen. Let's say Breen is 5-2 against Innis. Although Innis won their last one by 23. I find it really difficult to pick against a team that's lost 5 in a row, so I'm not going to. I'm going to pick Jeff to put the final nail in Breen's coffin, and I think that Jeff is going to live to play another day. So, Case, what do you think?
I'm going to pick Innis out of spite.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to elaborate on or no?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Out of spite.
Can we do the thing? Can we do the game?
Not for these two, because these are actually games that matter.
We do this.
Oh, I like the game. Can we make up the game? Can we go? Who do you want me to do? I'll do it quick. Who do you want? What team
No. We're pushing up on 2 hours. We're going out of here now.
I mean, Jeff is taking a flight, so this is for you, Duddy. Guess what? I'm not picking you. I'm taking Kevin, guys. He's coming off a tough week. He's got a couple guys coming back. Evan's coming back. I'm really hopeful for the Tampa Bay offense that they can re-click in. Cleveland's defense stinks. I'm going to take Kevin. I'm going to take Kevin this game.
Ooh, Kevin. All right, DeVito, who's left?
I got Breen too. I think Breen is going to have a turnaround this week. And this is going to really muddle the middle with all of these records. So I think Kevin wins, keeps it alive, and it's really going to bury Innis here, getting the 5 and 7 with a low point total.
Did you just think of that? Muddle the middle?
Steve,
Yes, that was
if-
completely off the cuff.
Steve,
RSO, baby.
Steve, can I ask you a question? If Green beat Innis and I beat Christian, do you think the playoffs are set?
Yeah.
More or less.
Close. You think we're pretty close?
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Because again, that means that someone is going to have to go 3-0 and you or I are going to have to lose out.
Woo.
It's happened.
All right.
Could. It absolutely could, but it's yeah.
Without further ado, I'm going to go to one of the more exciting games of the week, which feature two of the managers on this podcast. Mike.
Kevin is my upset.
Oh, sorry. Let's go. Hurry up. Make picks. Go
Can
ahead.
we
Mike.
do the thing in this game?
No. All right. Sorry, Steve. Kevin is upset. All right. So let's move on. Casey, the 10 seed, DeVito, the 3 seed. DeVito, you're 6-5 against Brian. Steve won the last game by 11 points. It's an important one for Steve. And so I don't think he'll really have an issue. I'll keep my stuff tight because I want to hear from you guys. I'm gonna go with him over Casey. So I'm gonna pick my boyfriend, Steve. And I'm gonna hand him the torch. Steve, what do you think?
Are you thankful for him this week?
Actually, before you go to that, Mike, I want your take before the two. Let's talk to them about their. I am very thankful for Steve. Let's talk.
I think Steve's nervous.
He doesn't look nervous. Look at that.
Dude, we bash on Case a lot. He's shrapnel to the nth degree. His matchups this week are pretty good. I think he's got to feel like if he can get out of Thursday with a good Amon-Ra St. Brown game, which I think he'll have a good game. Buffalo's defense has been a little bit susceptible. If Jefferson shows up and he can somehow get the usual 25, I think Case is going to feel good about where he is. I'm guessing Steve is more nervous than we think Steve is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm with you. I'm going to take DeVito. I think DeVito's roster is a bit more stable than Brian's. There are a couple guys on the bottom of Case's roster. I love Christian Watson. I think Christian Watson is a great player. Very boom bust at the bottom. Is he touchdown dependent? I think he is. I think this game is closer than we think. And in order for me to pick DeVito, I think DeVito has to boom. I'm taking DeVito to win I think Brian Casey will be a top 4 scorer this week. Ooh. And DeVito will have to boom to beat Case, and I'll take DeVito over Case.
Patriotic, a top 4 scorer. That is I'm very impressive. All right, let's go class over trash. So Steve, you started off. How do you feel about this matchup?
I don't. I actually think Case has done a really nice job with some of the trades he's made.
Steve, you feel. You're a very feelings guy.
I think his roster is really good, and I agree with Mike. I think he has some really good matchups this week. I think the matchup that is going to make or break this is the New England-Minnesota game. Does Belichick take away Jefferson, or does he take away Cook?
Hey, Jefferson.
That's what's going to be, huh?
Jefferson's hurt.
Oh.
He's got turf toe.
He's okay.
Oh. Little turf toe.
Like a Kyler Murray sized turf toe.
Yeah.
So are they going to double team Jefferson and take away him for the ability for a big play, or are they going to take their chances on the outside with some of their rookie cornerbacks and try and stop Dalvin Cook? I think the winner of that matchup will determine this game. Yes, Mike.
You worried about AJ Brown?
No, I'm actually more worried about the weather on the East Coast on Sunday than I am AJ Brown in general.
Time of year.
But it's going to affect it could affect Case more than me because he has 2 matchups on the East Coast with McLaurin and Watson to Brown for me. But the last time Brown played in the rain, he ended up with 3 touchdowns. So
Steve, I feel like your roster's set unless Juju's out. If Juju's out, do you pivot to Kittle? Or where do you go?
Yeah, I'd probably pivot to Kittle. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
But I am also in the market right now, so the roster might not be set completely.
Oh, tease. All right, Casey, defend yourself.
Yeah, there might be some movement in the market between these two teams. They might not be what they are right now come this weekend. So we'll see what happens.
True statement.
I will go to another key matchup. And I think that the Arizona Chargers game is going to be a big one. I think we saw Herbert's what I would expect out of him when he actually has his weapons, which he hasn't had since the first quarter of week 1. Having Allen in there is just a difference for that offense. They move the change. They keep the ball. he scores more points. I think he's back, and having that stack back is huge for my team. And how that plays against Arizona, who has Kyler, who stinks, but also playing from behind, James Conner loses his usage. So that might be a guy that Steve can't bank on this week, game script wise in that team. Haven't seen it firsthand when I had James all last year. So I'm going to pick myself because I want to play spoiler the rest of the way here. So I'm going to pick myself.
There you go. Look at you playing spoiler. You took
I'm
that
taking myself as the upset. I'm taking myself as
that
the
last
upset.
comment personal, huh? All right, fair enough. Sorry about that. All right, last game. Let's get this. Let's put a bow on this one. Let's talk about the most meaningless game between the two boringest managers in the entire league. What?
Great pod.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, listen. We got
Take credit for it all, Pete.
the Darian number the 16.
If you don't think Pete's taking credit for it all, case you don't know Pete.
Oh my God, Pete takes credit for everything.
I got to take over that Twitter account pretty soon. That's some god awful.
I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything, Pete.
Just give me the username. All right.
I did.
Well, give me the password. What is it? Pizza. All right.
Pizza.
I'm gonna work that into every podcast.
You shouldn't share that password. It's bad.
All right.
Bad security hygiene.
Christian against Colelli. It's the number 6 against the number 4. Colelli, I have nothing against you, but I forgot to pick an upset, so I'm gonna take the Darian here. That I really have nothing. This has been a long pod. I planned a lot for it. This was the last one. I said I don't care.
Oh,
Go ahead,
wow,
Mike.
No, don't go to me first. You go to me last.
All right, whatever. I'm not good at this. DeVito, you busy?
He's texting me. He texted me. I'm texting him back.
All right, Brian, you go.
I already hinted at this earlier. I'm taking Colelli. I don't think Christian has a shot in this one. So I've already revealed my pick.
DeVito's gossiping over text over here. I misread his text.
Picking Mike, and Mike is my boom.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna win this week.
It's like a half hour.
I'm gonna win this week. I'm a little worried about a couple guys in my roster. DeVito and I texted a bit on Sunday about should I play Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift, and we both agreed to play Swift. It was a bad play.
Why?
I love DeAndre Swift.
A lot of bad advice going on around here.
Well, I couldn't text
you
you.
got to give Steve 3 options, and he'll tell you which one to pick.
I know. I only gave him 2.
Play to his
I'll take
strengths.
myself.
Yeah.
Saquon's not doing that again. Saquon's going to play better. Hill's back.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you guys all
Threesome
hate
kind of
Kyler.
guy, Case.
Yeah, even though you guys all hate
It
Kyler,
was
I
just
think-
a bump in the
You
road.
need all those guys back, Mike, to make up for your hole at quarterback.
It was just a bump in the road.
Well, if Kyler doesn't play, then I'll pick somebody else up. I picked up Jimmy G, scored 4 touchdowns. No one talked about
It was a
that.
good pickup, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, who's left? Anyone else left?
I have a waiver. I have waiver moves. to go to.
Oh, waiver moves. Who are you gonna pick up? You gonna drop? Hey, I got Latavius Murray last week. Before it was cool.
You did. You had Demarcus Robinson, by the way, and whatever the guy's name is.
Dude, I don't know what. Dude, I'm telling you right now. So it came down Sunday moves. Whoever I drop is the top pickup every single week. Demarcus Robinson might not be the top pickup, but he was one of them. And it came down to me. I was going to drop him or Van Jefferson. And I was like, who should I drop?
Oh yeah.
Van Jefferson, I spent $40 on. I couldn't.
You can't let him go.
Pete,
This
let me
is-
know who you think. Pete,
Dude,
let me
the
know who
Rams
you're thinking of
stink.
picking up and dropping this week.
I will honestly let you know because it is
the Rams-
a gold
it's
mine to somebody.
It's incredible how bad the Rams offense are. I mean, they were bad this weekend.
It's not good.
They are terrible. And hopefully.
Well, look what happens when they lose Cup. They lose any type of firepower that they had at all.
It's almost like they're drinking out of their hands, Steve.
Incredible, Mike.
All right, I'm bad at goodbyes, Mike. Do you want to say goodbye?
Is their offensive line really bad this year, Steve? Like, did they
Pitiful.
just get so much worse? Was it
Just about as
Whitfield?
bad as the Patriots.
I think they got Nick Creeley starting
Whitfield?
at the right guard. That was what I heard.
Oh, wonder why Stafford's dead.
All right, everyone. Hey, let's wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Guys, safe travels to everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of travel weekend this weekend. Jeff, have a good flight. Everyone drive safe. Enjoy the turkey. Enjoy the stuffing. A+ pod, everyone. Great to be back. We double podded it this week. Good luck, everyone. Week 12 coming up. It's a big one. For Pete, our new host, Case.
What happens when you win?
Is
DeVito.
Pete close out? Or you close this out.
No, Mike does.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
No one's listening.
Good luck in week 12. Later!